I look like a
Uh,
hot mess.
it's hot. Is it hot there?
Extremely. I'm sweating as I'm trying to wash.
Mm,
And I can't find
mm.
my oh, I lost my pocketbook today, but I mean yesterday, but it was at the mall. They got it. They hold on to it. Oh
Okay.
Lord,
I
I'm
haven't
embarrassed.
I haven't started recording yet, but I
Okay.
will
All right.
shortly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let me
What
get
we
the video
talking about?
here.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you ready?
Nope, but okay.
It is,
Oh,
well, we got a couple of minutes, so let's keep
okay.
things fast.
Can't find my lipstick.
Oh, that's bad. I know how you feel then. Oh, I just barely get the makeup on.
Yes, and then it's like I'm running all around and things supposed to be what it's supposed to be, but it's not.
Okay, let me see how we're gonna do this here. I'll be right back. I'm just trying to adjust YouTube. Okay, make sure it's still on. It's still recording. Uh, that's not what I want. Okay, we're gonna go. There we go. There's your pretty face.
Oh,
Uh, I said, okay, we're just want to make sure, and I want to mute this on YouTube.
I just saw you when, so I'm gonna just have to be without lipstick today.
Okay, all right, here we go. I'm gonna start the recording.
All right.
Okay, let's hit say recording. Is it recording yet? Record to the cloud. Okay, it is recording.
Okay.
I believe. Hopefully it is. There it is. That's what I was waiting for. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello again this week. I don't know about you, but it's very warm here in Philadelphia. Hope it's comfortable and you have some cool air. This is Grandmom's room, the place where uh, grandparents, kinship care, those that are taking care of their grandchildren, nieces, nephews can come, talk, find some real solutions, answers, and more importantly, just community. And I'm here today with my wonderful co-host, Renee Zachary, who is also grandma. She's taking care her of
Grandson.
her her grandson. Yeah, well, we're all taking care of our grandkids here.
Mhm.
So she's taking care of her grandchild Georgie, who is 6 years old, who she's had since he was 6 months, and so she's got a lot of experience, and I wanted her here just to um, help me navigate, help me talk. So we're going to talk this week about self care, because so often we put ourselves on the back burner. And I'm here to tell you that self care is our lifeline. It's not a luxury, it's a lifeline. If we do not self care, we will not survive. So, I there's a lot to talk about in that because, again, um, we need to acknowledge that this is a unique challenge faced by us raising our grandchildren. We need to validate the fact that we need self care. It is our lifeline. And we're going to talk about some strategies for nurturing ourselves and our well being because it has to do with our physical lives as well as our mental health. So, self care is important. So, I always go to my uh, grandma guru here and ask questions and look up answers for you. And so I know that I'm giving you the best information possible. So I'm going to be reading from that information. And I said, many of us are grandmoms who step up with open arms and open our hearts and our homes, sometimes unexpectedly, to raise our grandchildren. You're juggling school runs, doctor's appointment, bedtime stories, and perhaps even parent-teacher conferences, all while navigating your own life. It's a role filled with immense love and immense demands. So today, as I said, we're diving deep into self-care for grandparents. We'll explore why self-care is absolutely absolutely non-negotiable. And I do mean non-negotiable. In this role, we're going to break down some common myths about being grandma and how we can take it all, but we don't take care of ourselves. We're going to share some practical and realistic tips that even the busiest grandmoms and caregivers can can weave into our day. So we're going to have an opportunity to hopefully talk to all of you about what you're doing. Now, I want to define self-care. For grandmothers raising children, self-care isn't a fluffy indulgence. It's your oxygen mask, your fuel tank, your foundation. It's anything that intentionally nourishes your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. I use the word intentional because you have to be mindful that you are doing this on purpose, not that you just weave in. You know, if you have to take 2 hours a week to go get your hair and nails done, you got to do that. You can't miss out. You have to do that because it is important for your physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional health. Okay, one of the myths that we're going to talk about real fast is there's no time for me. I need to be on 24/7. However, the rebuttal to that, and we do feel we need to be on all the time. Our children always need us. And if that's the truth, then you have to make sure that you're okay to be on 24/7. And you can't do that by not taking care of yourself. Uh, the reality is your grandchildren need a healthy parent who is present in their lives and resilient. Even short hours bursts of self-care can make a profound difference in your life and your energy. Even if you go to, as I said, even if you go to the nail salon for an hour to get your hair done, it regenerates you. Even if you find yourself in the store, that's what my co-host does. She goes to the store, that regenerates her. So you have to make sure that you take time for myself. I mean, I'm not going to be selfish and I'm not neglecting them, but I need this space for me and my Renee, let's interject something here.
Okay. Oh,
No, just interject about self-care.
Yes. For my self-care, I just started back to walking. In the evening, I'd have to take that walk. So, of course, I have Georgie with me at this particular time. But normally, as you mentioned, I have to go in the store. I'm shopping, even if I'm not buying anything. That's my alone time, and I could pull a whole shift with those workers there, just going through the whole racks and just looking at stuff. I mean, that's my downtime. That's my time to breathe. That's my time, to window wish, as they say, But I even play these mind games with myself. I'll say, okay, if I'm in this particular store, can I put a whole outfit together for under $20? Sometimes I play real hard games and can I do it for 10? It gets exciting. So yeah, sometimes you can put a whole outfit, your shoes, your pants, top. Sometimes you'll find sales. So at that time, oh, I'm excited. I'm dancing in the store, whether I take it or not. But that's the kind of mind games I have to play with myself. And even going eat lunch alone, or sometimes I'll meet up with another family member and we'll go do lunch. So it's all these different things that I have to get excited about during the time that he's in school. So that's my self-care, my time alone where I could say, ooh, I'm back to my me time.
That is, that's amazing to me. I can't go in the store and try to put an outfit together. That would be just too frustrating for me to put an outfit together for $20. Oh, see, that's good. I mean, that's a young lady that likes to work and hunt, likes to shop. See, because I'd be so angry, I'd be burning up the racks because I couldn't
It's
do
not
that.
the thrift store. So the challenge is it can't be the thrift store. It has to be a regular store. So that makes it even harder.
Wow. I
Yeah.
couldn't do that, but that is so good. Now I do feel good when I go to the, nail salon and have a pedicure and a manicure, but that is not something I could do. But everybody's different. But we don't care how you do it, is that you do it because that few minutes while you're focusing on the dresses and the racks, you're not focusing on Georgie
Exactly.
and you're not focusing on Georgie's problems. You're not focusing on what you have to do when you get home. You're not focusing on, well, he might have a good day and a bad day, or I might have to go to school and talk to his teachers, or his teachers have bad reports. None of that's in your head at the moment. All you are focusing. That's the point. That's the point. By focusing on you only provides you that headspace that you need to rejuvenate. Um,
I do add I set alarm. So the
oh,
alarm reminds me to get back into, hey, I got a kid, snap out of it, you gotta go pick them up, that kind of thing. So yeah,
okay.
it's
Yeah,
alarm set every day.
I do have an alarm too. That's good
Okay.
because usually I'm into my studies, into writing, which is my downtime. I don't know how much time I get it. I kind of weave it in. But at 2 o'clock, because I have to leave by 2:30 to go get my baby from school. So that breaks it so that I'm like, okay, I have to let's not do anything that's real heavy right this moment. Let's wind down and be ready to go get her. So we want to talk. Thank you so much, baby. We want to talk about the categorizing of self-care. Um, we're going to talk about physical care. And one of the things that they're saying for physical care is sleep. Are you truly resting when you go to sleep? And sometimes the only time you can sleep is when they're in school. Are you truly resting? Maybe an early bedtime or short rest when the kids are at school is a good time to nap. What do you have to say about a good time to sleep? What do you have to say about sleep?
I suffer from sleep apnea. And somebody in their right mind will come home and take a nap. Nope, not me. Because would be the perfect time for me to sleep. So, in that area of self care, I'm not doing myself justice because I don't get enough rest. I'm just constantly wired. And at night, I can't sleep. It's because of the concerns of him getting up and he doesn't sleep well also. So he's back to waking up in the middle of the night, turning the TV back on. All this drama. Do I want to fight with him in the middle of the night? Those different things. And then I got to turn my phone off. So no, I'm not getting the rest that I need. And I
Okay.
just was talking to my doctor about it. So they talking about prescribing something, but I don't want to take meds because I'm not a pill popper.
None of
So,
that. You're afraid that you're gonna sleep through your baby.
well, definitely. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So
But that
no,
is something you're
yes.
working on.
Exactly.
Okay, because you can't function if you're not sleepy. I have kind of made a habit. I was a person that I thought I could go 24/7 until I realized that I need the rest.
Yeah.
So if it's in the middle of the day, I have no problem. I will call up in my bed and go to sleep. And I'll stay up later sometimes if I haven't completed what I need to complete. But sleeping is important to me because it does, for me, nourishes me. I wake up, even if it's an hour nap, I
Mhm.
wake up, my brain is back to where it needs to be. So sleep is very important. The other thing that they mention here is grabbing healthy snacks, even when you're making kid-friendly meals. Make a simple quick option of a healthy snack. How is your eating habits, Renee?
Well, it's changing, and my goal is to lose some weight. I'm on this crazy watermelon diet.
On this, what is it?
Watermelon.
Watermelon and
That's it.
okay.
And so now it's to the point where I have to schedule when I'm going to eat it. I gotta make sure I'm
Okay.
home because
Okay.
it's really like a diuretic. It really keeps you going. So yeah, right now I'm working on eating better, less food, and moving more. So that's what
And
I'm doing.
that's their next statement is movement. But in terms of the meals, what I do is I'm trying to practice less sugar, because I am a coffee drinker, so I always have my coffee, my sugar in my coffee, probably too
Right.
much.
Mm-hmm.
I usually in the morning also like a donut or a piece of cake or some cookies. So I'm working on cutting that down. However, my snacks during the day, as long as I'm during the day, I'm not doing a lot of eating. I eat a lot of fruit. I eat fruit. I might make me some cream cheese with different flavors in it, and healthy kind of things on it, and some fruit. So I try to intake a lot of fruit during the day, and I find that's very good and good for me. And I also try to make sure that I have at least one salad a day. Now, I don't make salad from lettuce because I don't really like the lettuce taste of lettuce, and it has no nutritional value. I make my lettuce has been for years now is spinach. I eat baby spinach on everything. So if I'm having a salad, it's baby spinach so that I'm getting those natural fibers. And I haven't done the kale thing because I don't like kale for some reason. But I love raw vegetables. I can eat raw broccoli, cauliflower. I can eat that kind of carrots, whatever. So I try to do that. At least one meal is a salad. Um, so but that you have to keep that in mind. And the other thing you just said was movement, and they're recommending short walks. So if you can walk to your child's school to pick him up, or bring him home. Now I don't do a lot of walking. I should do more.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bum knee that just says no. No, you're not walking anywhere. So I kind of pay attention to that. I'm going for physical therapy right now, and it's made it better. But still, after walking is not something. So I'm trying to do walking movements in my home. I turn on the TV when I get back from dropping my baby off and look for yoga for seniors or movement for seniors. And I try to follow that. Do I do that every day? No. Should I? Yes. But I'm working on it. How about for you in exercise?
Mine is the first thing in the morning. I turn the radio on. I turn the videos on, and I love to dance. That's my thing in the morning. I am dancing. I'm trying to do a quick dance in to get me going. And I just started maybe about 2 weeks ago, uh, getting back to that. I have this machine, and it stays off, it vibrates your whole body for 10 minutes. So I'll do that. And then I'm popping my little vitamins in the morning. So this is like a brand new routine. Well, I used to do it, and then I got off track, but now I'm back on track again. And that's basically keep on moving. So I do in the evening, Georgie and I go walking, and then in the morning, I'm dancing in the morning. So now I have to do all of this before 7 o'clock. Because why? I done woke up at probably about 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock, because I'm
Right.
not sleeping. So instead of laying here, I might as well get started. So that's what I do. Nothing too hard, but I'll put some Janet Jackson or some Beyonce and I act like I'm them and get my moves in. But that's what I do in the morning,
And what
And then
time do you get up? What time do you get
around
up?
around 5 o'clock, my alarm goes off at 6, but I already been up for 2 hours already.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
I don't sleep well at all. This is no joke. No joke.
Wow. But getting up is early. Just that you didn't
Oh
sleep.
yeah, that's easy. Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
getting up is now, I tell people, listen, don't ask me to do nothing before 9 o'clock because I'm not gonna. I had this thing. I don't want to open my eyes before the sun
Mhm.
comes up because it doesn't make sense to me. When the sun is down, I'm supposed to be asleep. So, but that's just a little thing of mine. When I take my baby to school in the morning, she's supposed to be there at 8:15. So I struggle to get up at 6:30. So give us an hour to get dressed and out. Um,
Mhm.
but it's a
Mhm.
problem.
Okay.
It's a problem for me because I'm like, you know, I have punched clocks all my life. I don't want to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You do what you got to do. I got to get up to get her to school on time, but not a favorite thing. So I always tell people, if you want me to do something, call me after 10. It's better, even after 10, because I want to have my coffee and my
Oh,
donut or whatever, and then I can think because I
I'm
don't want to think. So
so
unless,
jealous of those that can sleep.
huh?
I am so jealous of those that can sleep.
Oh,
You know,
I can
oh
sleep. I can sleep.
yeah,
And
my
even because I find that even
mm-hmm.
when I'm in stress, I need to sleep to clear my head. So I'm in stress. I have a rule, first of all, is that I don't really stress about stuff because that really can make your body unwork. I use that time sometimes to just pray. And when I pray, I leave it there and my God takes care of everything. So I just leave it there and I'm able to sleep. So it doesn't disturb my sleep if I'm worried about something. Not to say I don't have the same, financial, physical, whatever worry that someone else has. It's just that I do not allow it to dominate my body because of the negative uh, hormones and negative chemicals that stress creates in the body. So it doesn't serve anything. And if you sit there and stress all night, when you wake up, it's still there. So that's kind of silly. But I find out because I don't stress and I go ahead to sleep, I find solutions when I'm asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Ideas and things come to me like, why don't you approach it this way or that way? So I find solutions in that rest. So that's why I'm so important for for uh for rest. And but as you were saying with movement is also so important. I have tried to have the elliptical bike. I like that a lot, but my niece said that it doesn't like it, so it restricts. So I try to do some stretching that is not too physical in terms of stress on my knees. I love to swim. I just have to my swimming place is not too far from where my daughter goes to school. So I try to drop her off and go straight to the pool because if I go back home, that's not happening. But if I go straight to the pool in the morning, then I'm there. I'll swim an hour and I'll do so. My greatest physical activity is swimming.
Now I got to get my. I was going before this year, and that was to the Y, and they have a swimming pool, and the jacuzzi and the sauna, and I got away from it, so I got to go back. You know,
Yeah,
so yeah,
because the swim exercises every muscle in
exactly.
your body. So I really love to do that. Okay, so that's physical self care. Let's talk a minute about mental self care. And one of the things they're suggesting is make sure that you have some quiet time, even 5 or 10 minutes of quiet solitude before your day begins, or in between break before you, or even after the kids. No chores, no cooking, no other stuff, just quiet time. Just that you're doing at nothing. And I think that's also a very good for me. I don't care if I'm staring at the wall. Sometimes I just go out in on the back porch and just sit and just look and just watch a green tree or just take a few minutes breather. How about yourself?
I like to sit in the car because one, I'm usually stuck in the car waiting. You know, so but I can't. No, I'll be telling a story if I say that it's total quiet time because I got the radio running.
No, okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard.
But
'Cause I always got something going and my mind is constantly racing. So
and that's the struggle. And you have to give it has to be, the word we used at the beginning was intentional. We have to be intentional. So
mhm,
you have to intentionally say, and that's a part of mindfulness. If you say, I'm going to sit here quietly for 5 minutes,
mhm,
you might have to watch this, intentionally sit quietly for
mhm,
5 minutes to reset. You need to reset. Your body has not to be going 24/7 with something on your head. They're
mhm,
also talking about learning and stimulation. Um, but they're reading a chapter in a good book, doing a crossword puzzle, and that kind of stuff. I
mhm,
love puzzles. So
mhm.
I usually, before I go to bed, I play this word game on the computer called Just Words. Now, I'm not playing against each other people who I have the opportunity to, because they say you can play with live. Yeah, I play against the computer. Now, why I think I can beat the computer, I don't know, but I would challenge that computer and play 3 or 4 games, and then I'm sleepy. But it takes all the day's stresses and thoughts away from me, and I focus on the puzzle, and it works for me. How about for yourself?
Oh Lord. Okay, I don't always order stuff, but it is so calming to me. Just slide across Temu, Sheen, Fashion Over. just look, just looking at clothes. Just Georgie should get this. Oh, I should get that for Georgie. And I don't always buy, but to me that's just calming.
That's calming to you.
Yes, to me, I'm just looking at this outfit. Oh, I will put that with this. Oh, I will put yellow. Oh, yellow, green. It was something all in my head and just slide across.
If that's what calms you down, if that's the activity that calms you down, then that's what you need to do. It's
What?
frustrating to me because if I can't afford to buy it, I'm gonna get mad. But
I
that's
shouldn't
okay.
add this. I know I shouldn't add this, but I'm on these different dating sites, and I'll be like, just sliding,
I'll just slide.
just
Okay.
sliding, just looking like it's closed, like Timu. I'm like, okay, just keep on.
Okay,
It's
there's nothing
fine.
wrong. There's nothing wrong. And you can mention that because sometimes you have to chuckle about it. I had somebody send me a message that on Facebook. They always send you messages on Facebook, and
Uh-huh.
this one guy. Well, first of all, I'm not going beyond below a certain age for me,
Mm-hmm.
and this one guy sent me, and I'm like, oh, brother, he was gorgeous,
Oh,
and he
okay.
was my age. So there was no real reason for me not to. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, no, my brother. But if I was in the market, I would
Right.
definitely respond. But I
Okay.
was just not in. But he was gorgeous. But so I get it. It made me laugh. It made me chuckle because
Mm-hmm.
people need to understand. You think of Granny, and our young kids don't think that we are still vivacious. We're
Right.
still sexual women. We're
Mm,
still alive.
right.
So while we do that,
Hey, George.
uh, we want to have companionship. We want to have somebody to share our lives with. We have every right. So you shouldn't shut yourself or that part of yourself off
Right.
from it. My thing was I just don't have time, brother. I just don't even have time. And I don't want to have to explain nothing to nobody. So if
Mm.
you don't come in, I keep saying the only way I really will truly interact is if I hear him coming down from the sky in
That's
golden
not happening.
dress attire, draped in gold, and God said,
Mm-hmm.
"This is for you." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm ready to do." Beyond that, no thank.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Like
making
right,
sure
right.
they're saying making sure you keep your doctor appointments. Why I think that's only sensible. I
Yeah.
do that because if I'm not healthy, I can't take care of my babies. So um I always do that. So
Mm.
now the next chapter was mental self-care and now emotional self-care. Expressing your feelings. Let's see what they're saying about expressing feelings. Find a trusted friend or family member or support group that you can talk about your joys and challenges and your role of being a grandma. Do you have somebody to do that with?
What? I was sharing that with a friend today, and he and I were just talking about under me, he want me to understand that I'm old. Georgie will be older and me handling Georgie. And that is some concern. You know, my baby has autism. He's a little boy. He's 6. In 10 years from now, he's going to be 16. And then with his mental issues, you know, are they going to get worse? You know, is he going to get physical with me? And all those things that you have to take in consideration. And I wouldn't have minded if maybe it was 20 years beforehand, you know, where I was much younger, you know, and it's something really has me thinking, because I am concerned about that, you know, being able to handle him.
Okay, well, let's not, but it's important that for you not make a problem when you don't have it, because some autistic children function very normally, and Georgie is high level. He's very high level.
Georgie is high level and Georgie is physical.
He's what?
He's physical. So he's now hitting the teachers. I have gone to tell him no or stop, and then he's trying to do me. And of course I had to snap into the
Adjust him, yeah.
Give him some adjustments. And it was weird thing about that. I was talking to the I guess teacher, therapy director, whatever. And of course they say that you shouldn't do it with children of autism because they are different from other kids, and that you could be teaching them that's how you solve a problem. Now,
nah, I don't know that I agree with that.
I know. I was going to say, because I told him, well, there may be a difference in the way we do things than the way y'all do things.
Right.
You know, so, and I know that minds understand, but I just hear all these horror stories about dealing with that.
But so I know that my parents know their kids the best.
Mm-hmm.
You know what Georgie understands and what he doesn't.
Right.
You know, if he lashes out, he understands that he's lashing out and that he should not. Now, it'd be different if the baby didn't understand. And we do have autistic children that don't understand, but Georgie does.
Right.
So what we're talking about is not so much that he is impulsive and hit you. Right now, he wants to do that because he wants to show his own freedom and his own mind. And he's got to learn and adjust. So I'm not a psychiatrist or even a child therapist. But I say that you know your child best, and you have to do what you think you need to do, because the bottom line is you want him to be able to function in this world. And I think Georgie is smart enough, and as he matures even more, that you'll be able to say to him, no, that's not correct, Georgie. I just believe in Georgie because I believe he's just that smart. I think he's going to be a very high functioning. Yes, he's a kid right now. Yes, he's trying. Yes, he's stretching. But I do believe that in time, he will curve that as he matures a little bit. So we just have to kind of watch. That doesn't mean that you don't make plans just in case. You still think about it, but you don't stress about it, but you think about it. Prepare yourself for either way it goes. So that's what my suggestion. But if you think you need to, I'm not going to say that because you couldn't say you went Papa's, but if you think you need to make some adjustments with him, then you need to do that.
Yeah, I do, but
because at the same time, you don't want him to think that it's okay.
Right. That's the way I was raised, and I didn't raise my own children that way. So why is he any different? And
and you shouldn't treat him any differently. We understand he has specific issues, and you're working in to take care of that, and you're going to do everything you humanly can to do that. But you also have to use extra measures. He's not an average kid, so you got to kind of go a little bit over the top to make sure his adjustments are necessary, because his life is going to depend on it. In the future, and his ability to so expressing your feelings. So it was good that you had someone to talk to today. For me, I'm constantly talking to Beatrice. We almost talk every day, and we always are complaining about our children. So If I'm feeling stressful, I'm like, do you know what this child did? And let me tell you, and this is what I'm going to do about it. And saying, she got sick, so she got a whole litany of
Right.
concerns and complaints. So in doing that, we relieve each other's stress about
I
so
do
we don't
data.
have,
So,
huh?
I'm talking to data. So, that I get the chance I talk to her every day and we're going over this. Georgie did this and, so those kind of things. So, yeah,
It,
outside
it
of
really
that,
makes it
yeah.
really makes a difference. So expressing your feelings, talking to some, but it's important. And the next point is making sure that you set boundaries, learning to say no
Mhm.
to additional comments or asking for help when you feel overwhelmed. So setting boundaries, and you're setting those boundaries with Georgie, and that's important.
Mhm.
And so I think it's going to make a difference as he grows up. And just seeking support, like the grandmom's room and other things like that, coming together. We hope that as grandma's room grows, we'll be able to have little. Uh, uh, Renee wants to do tea sessions, tea parties. So having a little tea party or wine tasting parties or whatever that we can have, so that you have
Mhm.
emotional support. You have a community of support. That's what I see. Renee has us going on trips and doing cruises. And sometimes we'll take the children and sometimes we won't. And we're going to find a way to fund them so that um, we'll all be able to go, so that some grandmothers that can't afford it will have some kind of funding pool that will be able to support grandmothers that just need a break, even if it means bringing the children, because then in the process, if we're able to put it together, we'll hire folks that'll watch the kids while we take a break. Okay, does that sound like a plan?
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, me and Georgie going away uh, to Ohio the 4th of July. So it's like I'm trying to, some of my getaways, I do include him too.
Okay. Okay. Well, I definitely with Katana, she's 8. I definitely include her. I have always included my children at
Mhm.
anywhere I go. I'm going to a conference for online platform that I teach on. I'm going to a conference in November, and of course, she's my right hand person. So she's my traveling buddy. Renee, until we get together and do stuff, that's my traveling buddy. But
Right.
if you bring in Georgie and I'm bringing Katana, that's fine because
Mhm.
Katana's good. She's 8, but she'll play with anybody. She play. She like to play with 2 year olds, 3 year olds, and last time she was with Georgia, she had a ball.
I know, exactly. I just realized they're just 2 years apart.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and she enjoyed him so much because she still talks about it.
Right.
So, um, understanding and around do the things that's important to you. Like for me, I am getting my doctorate. That's important to me. And I'm not letting anything stand in the way. No matter what's going on, I'm going to find time. Now, usually, like when you're going shopping, usually I'm on a computer and I'm researching and I'm writing. And you believe that's relaxing for me.
Mhm.
That's using my mind in that way is just very, very soothing. And also making sure that your spiritual self-care, connecting with your values, going to church if that's what you need, making sure you're stopping a minute and being grateful for breathing. Because I'm so excited about breathing today because a lot of people didn't wake up today. A lot of people not breathing today. So I get excited because, oh Lord, thank you so much for another day. Okay. And that sets my tone for my day. Um, in the morning, I just say my gratitude and an attitude of gratitude, even in the craziestness. I am grateful because I am here, and therefore God has a purpose for me being here. And so I am just grateful and joyful because I tell everybody nothing messes with my joy.
Right.
If it's bothering my joy, it got to go out of this door because you don't mess with my joy. You don't mess. I don't care fruit, flower, dog, cat, kid, whatever.
Flower.
You got to go.
Yeah.
I'll find a safe place for you, but you got to go because
Right.
you don't have the right to interrupt my peace and my joy because you want to be done. Okay. So that's for a man, a kid, a dog. I don't care what it is.
Totally agree. Totally,
Huh?
totally agree.
Yes, and you gotta be okay, and you gotta be committed to that because
Mhm.
sometimes you gotta make some tough decisions around peace, around your own peace. Sometimes that means that you gotta cut yourself off from some things and some people, and that's okay.
But it's okay to know how to say no.
No,
No.
no,
No, I can't do that. No. And don't give an excuse for why you can't say you saying no. You just you like to
I
come
just was
up
on a workshop
with
that said no is a complete sentence.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
No is no, and you don't
Yeah.
owe justification. You can give it if you choose to, but no is a complete sentence. No
Mm,
means no.
yeah, yeah. Because it's gonna save your sanity. Because I used to like
Absolutely.
to please people. I'm like the heck with them now. No.
And they said this, they also suggest the micro minutes for self-care. So 5 or 10 minutes. Now, like what I like to do is I like to hear, I don't dance around, but I do like to hear certain kind of music. I'll
Mm.
put on 10 to 15 minutes of smooth jazz, sit down
Oh.
and have a cup of coffee. I'm good. Or sit down and listen to my favorite gospel record.
Mhm.
And I'm good. I'm good. If you had 5 or 10 minutes, that's all I need sometimes. So
Hey,
we
wait a
need,
minute. You going
huh?
smooth and I'm going jamming hard. I
Yeah,
get pumped up.
my knees won't take Janet Jackson. Sorry.
Yes, I gotta get pumped up.
Or Beyonce.
Mhm.
I was doing single ladies for a minute, and Katana just thought that was the most hysterical thing. But
Mhm.
it was just a song I just really liked. Um, it's suggesting that we ask for help when we need it.
Mhm.
It's also suggesting create a grandma's recharge kit. I don't know what that means. Let's see. A small, accessible box with things that bring you comfort.
Mhm.
A special tea, a special hand cream, a short devotional, a journal, or
Mhm.
calming scent.
Mhm.
My grandma's
The
okay.
scents,
Okay, sense does that for
candles,
me.
candles, the scent.
Yeah, I like to burn that all the time. But
Mhm.
it does it provides me a certain amount of peace just when I walk in my house and have a certain smell and
Mhm.
scent. So just the suggesting that embrace imperfection. But the house doesn't have to be spotless. I had to get over that,
Mhm.
because I like my bed made because I have a big beautiful bed. I
Mhm.
spent a long time getting the bed that I like,
Uh-huh. Oh.
and it was costly.
Mhm.
And before I used to take the little beds, and I mean, I always had a full size bed, but since my husband, and that's been 30 years almost now. We had this big bed, and the headboard kind of had the shape of a massive lion. And I
Mm.
just really thought it was made of wood. It was good, a good bed.
Mhm.
And so I loved it. And just within the last year or so, I bought me a bed now that has like a sunburst, and it kind of reminds me of all the planets in the universe.
Oh.
And it's a big, and it just calms me. I love looking at it. Um, so this suggesting, just sitting and looking at my headboard just takes me to a different place because it
Mhm.
makes me think about a planet. So creating a grandma's recharge kit, and embracing imperfections means if the house is not as neat as you like it, be okay.
Mhm.
If every meal doesn't have to be homemade,
Mhm.
or every meal doesn't have to be at a particular time. So with you have to cook for um, Georgie, or you have to fix Georgie's meal,
Mhm.
and I know that that's a process because he
Yes,
doesn't. How does he eat?
he doesn't eat good at all. Everything is even today. All he had was an egg and
Mm,
bread, and everything I gave him today he didn't want it.
mm,
Georgie doesn't like much of anything. And it's a challenge trying to feed him because I'm thinking the child's gonna starve to death. But then when he goes to school, they have the same reaction. They offer him food and he won't eat it. And these are things that he is known to enjoy and he likes, but he's not liking it now. So it's like, is everything I put in front of him is like, no. He puts even sense of smell is bothering him. I don't know what else to do. And I'll just keep on putting it in front of him.
Well, the doctors told me when I had a very picky child, he said they will not starve themselves to death.
Yeah, I heard
So
that.
I have to go with that. He'll eat when he's ready to eat,
Right.
but make the stuff available. For instance,
Yeah.
keep containers of what the things that he likes, so that as he's getting older, and as I said, he's 6 now, so he can go in the refrigerator and get a container.
Right. And that's
If
what I'm
you have
doing now.
sliced up fruit or some, or even, I don't know how kids eat cold nuggets, but they like cold nuggets. I think that's the nastiest thing in the world. My baby asks for a Lunchable, and one of the Lunchables are cold nuggets or cold pizza. And I think, oh God, how you can even get that in your mouth? And they love it.
Right.
So you keep it around. You keep a Lunchable or you keep nuggets around
I
that you
keep
cook, put in the
grapes.
refrigerator.
He,
Mm-hmm.
he just started eating grapes again because at one point years earlier he used to love it. Then he stopped. Now he's back to eating grapes again. So I keep grapes in. I know it's not healthy, but Sunny D and water in the refrigerator. I keep his little honey bun. So things like that he'll run to on his own. Well,
And he won't starve himself to
he
death.
won't. Yeah,
That's what the doctor told me. Let him
yeah.
be what he's going to be. Just keep the things around so he can go get it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I'm doing with Katana, because she does now. Now she knows how to use the microwave. So she'll go in and make herself, there's something in the microwave, where she'll make herself a bowl of cereal, or she'll put her nuggets in the toaster oven, not in the big oven, in the toaster oven, and it stops and she gets a little spatula and she knows how to get it.
Right,
So I'm allowing her that freedom, because then I don't have to sit there and worry about it
right.
and figure it out. You go eat you breakfast is something you eat. You go downstairs to fix yourself some breakfast. So she
Mm-hmm.
does. And I'm trying to make it so that she is self-sufficient and independent. So let's see what else it says here. Embrace the imperfection, utilize school time. We talked about that already. What else is it recommending? Okay, so we want to just, and it's almost 8:45, leave with a little bit of some wisdom that said to think of a special time. Let's see what it says. That another grandma or caregiver learned the importance of self-care. So give me something that you've done as a tip for
Mm-hmm.
grandmothers for self-care that you personally have found to be helpful for yourself.
I love it. 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 Uh, I and another grandmom that has two children that has autism, and they're her grandbabies. They live with her, and she is stressed out. And the mom is there, and she is so stressed out that every month we look forward to going somewhere without
Mm,
them.
mm,
So our last trip we went to Charleston, South Carolina, and we visit, the museum, the African American Museum, and then went to the beach, and that's our time away from our kids,
situation. Mhm,
and we get to talk about our children, how much we love them, and how much they work our nerves,
mhm,
and when our next trip coming. So
mhm.
that's my thing. Oh my goodness, I look forward to it.
Do you do it the same time every month?
It's not the same time. Like right now, we're planning our next trip is back to Ohio because we've been to Ohio. And last time we went, we didn't take Georgie with just the two of us, and we find a beautiful hotel, and we just enjoy ourselves at the hotel and whatever's around it. So this time we're going back to Ohio, but this time it's a family reunion. So I'm gonna take Georgie with me this particular sign. But that peacefulness in that hotel room or looking out onto the ocean, and I mean, it's just beautiful.
And it relieves all the stress right
Yes.
out of your body. So that is so.
And I mean, to eat a meal without me fussing at him.
Just to have a simple meal. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. So, um,
Get away.
thank you for sharing that. And that's so important that you take the time to self-care. And that is, we can't underline that enough with the stress of everybody else around us, our grandchildren, the parents, and everything else around us. We need to make sure that if we're going to be there for the long haul, that we stay physically, mentally, and spiritually intact for our babies, because it is a monumental task. And we're not as young as Renee said, we're not as young as we used to be, and maybe not even as resilient to bounce back, but we still have to stay on point so that we can run the race, so that we can be there for our children. So remember, dear grandmoms, it is incredibly important role in raising our grandchildren, but taking care of yourself is just as important. And it's an absolute essential, because you cannot take care of yourself. You cannot take care of your babies if you're not well yourself. And as we're getting older, it takes more effort to take care of ourselves. So we just have to use grandma superpowers, because I think all grandmothers are taking care of kids have superpowers. So we're all Wonder Woman. You should see my W on my chest here, or Superwoman, or whatever you want to call yourself, because the world needs you and your children need you. And I'm so proud and blessed to be here talking with you and for this incredibly, incredibly important role. And uh, my my sister of over 50 years, she tells us, and I will be back here next week to share some other wisdom with you. I thank all of you so much for coming and listening and sharing. And we look forward to it, because together we'll get through this, and we'll blink our eyes and our babies are grown. And we had a great part of that. And hopefully we are physically and mentally able to enjoy them as teenagers and young adults. So with that, Renee, any closing thoughts?
No, we're all sheroes. We got this.
We got this. We got this. We absolutely got this. So thank you so much. God bless, and we'll see you next.